Hi, everyone. My name's David Meckstroth, and we're in the last week of doctorate training for, I think it's 523. It started on January 4th and will be ending here shortly. If you're watching this, I've appreciated very much everybody's participation, and certainly Wendell, how you led us and assisted with the program. I know several people at least started the training and must not have had the time, so I've really appreciated those of you that kind of stuck it out in reflecting. This has actually been the best work study. I don't want to necessarily say seminar, but it's been a training. This has been the best training that I've ever experienced. It was really, really great. Obviously, as all of you spent a lot of time and I took a lot of notes on this and saved a lot of different files. And when I reflect, I think I have a much maybe more holistic view of the whole dissertation process. And a couple of the key things that stuck with me is, the importance of really, truly, in a genuine way, trying to connect with the students, to by building trust and a good, healthy relationship, because they're the dissertation process it can be gut-wrenching. Let's face it. It's not easy. And I think those of us that are on the committees or chairs of committees trying to create the at least reasonable expectations of what a student is going to face, whether that is the iterative process on research questions is really, back and forth. You don't get it on your first or second or third try, or at least that's probably very rare. And as you write your dissertation, once you even get there, even before you do, the methodology, the research question, all that is a very iterative process, and it can be very frustrating. And so trying to create the right expectations, I think is easier if you're able to build a trusting and effective relationship. The ethical part, obviously, was really important as we focused at least a week on that. That was actually one of the live sessions that was very helpful. I certainly learned if you're doing research with somebody from a foreign country in particularly, but probably everybody, make sure you lay down the ground rules ahead of time so there's no surprises at the end, as the one case that I chose to review and present. But I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is the holistic approach, and for all the future committees that I'm on, and I've been on, I think, 4 different dissertation committees, I'm going to go back and review some of the key takeaways from here, some of which I've already mentioned. I think just in the last week or two, we've discussed on the discussion board, the importance of trying to have the right resources available for support on dissertation committees to try to ensure that the appropriate statistical methods, if those are being used, the appropriate methodology is sound. That has been and probably will continue to be a concern of mine, just to make sure that, because I'm certainly not well versed in all statistical methods, and probably most people, unless that's their area of expertise, probably aren't either. And just trying to ensure that those are effectively met and addressed is important. I think Bethany on the discussion board had a great suggestion, or she shared what Walden University is, that has a team to support the committee and the student and does periodic reviews of the, approach in terms of the methodology that the student is using. And that's really, that would be great if Franklin could have something like that. I'm just looking at some of my key notes that I have taken when I've gone back and reviewed. The other thing that also, I'd certainly want to try to keep in mind on the dissertation is, how can it be applied into the future, making sure that it certainly is going to contribute to the literature. And in addition to that, could it be useful in the students' future endeavors as they, continue with their career? We also talked about the comprehensive exam, and a new concept came up that I was really not familiar with about the portfolio, doing a portfolio that's kind of geared toward that application for the student. That certainly would sound intriguing as a potential alternative. I think Charles, if I remember right, indicated that he actually did that, as he was pursuing and then ultimately getting his doctorate degree. Using examples for dissertations, specific examples of dissertations, of research questions can help a student at least be able to conceptualize what an appropriate approach would be. I've already mentioned trying to work on expectations of the students to try to reduce the level of frustration, but undoubtedly there's going to be some of that level of frustration too. But as the committee and through the coursework, trying to keep in mind the focus on the dissertation, the topic needs to be something that the student's going to be interested in for possibly up to 3 years. Continue to refine that as they're going through the coursework. Continue to periodically talk about ethics, which is really important. Once they get to their dissertation balance, Charles wrote a good post about writer's block, take a break, but then as we get commercialized, I think I responded about got to know when to say when, and Charles said just do it. Sometimes you just gotta, when it's time to write, you gotta try to write. So there's a lot I could say. This is almost going on, it's over 9 minutes right now, so I probably need to wrap it up. But the people I did sessions with, Charles, Yi, David F., Cynthia, those sessions were all very important and valuable to me. And again, Wendell, thank you for leading us through this. I felt that I certainly try to contribute. I probably have, lesser experience than everybody, but I certainly try to contribute by being timely and responsive on all the discussion boards. And I'm going to routinely refer to my notes, and I will be implementing a number of these aspects. So thank you all for a really terrific course. I've learned a great deal, and it will impact how I move forward working with students, working with other faculty, and everything, as I've mentioned. So thank you very much.